Here are the metro Atlanta suburbs you need to stay away from. Right off the bat, Roswell is one that I'm really not a fan of. I know a lot of people are going to be upset. I said it, Roswell's not my favorite. And the reason is because there's not really a lot of great things going for this city. The homes in Roswell are a bit older, the prices are a bit higher, the schools in Roswell are the traffic is kind of bad. It's really not a great suburb. But of course, if you've got like family living there or maybe work is in Roswell and you're trying to keep that commute down really short, then perhaps Roswell is worth it. But all things being equal, I don't really think Roswell is one of the best options. What's up, y'all? My name is Victor with Atlanta Suburban Living, and we put out videos every week about what it's like to live in Atlanta and the surrounding suburbs of Atlanta. Another area you want to stay away from if you're thinking about moving to Metro Atlanta is anywhere where there is an airport. And surprisingly, we have a lot of airports all around the Metro Atlanta area, not just Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, which is like the main one in South Atlanta, but also there is the Dobbins Air Reserve Base in Cobb County. Cobb County International Airport is an additional one. DeKalb Peachtree Airport is another one in Metro Atlanta. And so if you're really close to any one of these airports, you're going to obviously have those low flying planes, and that could affect noise levels for sure. It would certainly be a pain in the ass to try to live with. So be sure to not be too close to any one of these airports that we have sporadically located throughout the Metro Atlanta area. Another suburb that I don't think is really worth it is Stone Mountain. Of course, if you're thinking about moving to Stone Mountain or any part of Metro Atlanta, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. I'm the one who answers those phone calls, those text messages, and I'd be happy to help with your moving needs to the Metro Atlanta area. But hopefully it's not the Stone Mountain area, because this is just not again, not a whole lot of great things going for Stone Mountain. Now, there are some cities that have poor schools like Stone Mountain, but they have other really good things going for them. Like, for example, Sandy Springs is a great city. They're not known for their public school district, but they have a lot of big economy there. The proximity to Atlanta from Sandy Springs makes it a great place to live, but Stone Mountain really doesn't have anything going. The schools there are pretty terrible. The economy there is pretty terrible. The crime rate there is higher than other parts of the Metro Atlanta area. So for that reason, I don't think that Stone Mountain is a good place. Obviously this depends on what you need and your preferences. Again, if the proximity to work means that Stone Mountain is the right place, then certainly, there are a lot of factors. But again, all things being equal, Stone Mountain is not really my favorite place. Another one that's similar to Stone Mountain is McDonough. McDonough is in like the southeast part of Metro Atlanta. And again, the schools there just really have a lot of catching up to do. The economy there is not very robust. It is far away, and it is peaceful and tranquil to be so far away, like a city like McDonough. But other than that, it's not really my favorite. And so there are a lot of better cities in Metro Atlanta, and McDonough is not on the top of the list. Another one that you really need to be careful of is not so much a specific suburb, but any part of Metro Atlanta where you are living in the city limits, not just the county limits. So for example, in Cobb County, we have multiple cities, Marietta, Kennesaw, Ackworth, Powder Springs. All of these cities are in Cobb County. So if you live within that mile radius of the downtown Marietta area, you're paying for city property taxes and county property taxes. Now, you are getting the amenities of both the city and the county. You're living super close to the downtown area, walking distance. There are some benefits of living this close to the center of the city, but keep in mind you'll be paying extra in property taxes, double even in property taxes. And this isn't just for Marietta or Cobb County. This goes for the majority of the cities and the counties all along Metro Atlanta. A couple suburbs that really come to mind that I don't think are good options are Douglasville and Covington. Both of these cities kind of have the same issue in that they are right off of I-20. Douglasville is in the west part of Metro Atlanta off of I-20, and Covington is in the east part of Metro Atlanta, also off of I-20. And so if you live in one of these cities and you work in Atlanta, the commute is absolutely trash because I-20 sucks so bad that there is like always traffic on I-20. To get from Covington to Atlanta during rush hour traffic is oftentimes like an hour and a half commute. And many people want to live in Covington because again, it's kind of far out and there is actually I don't know what there is in Covington. It's not really a great place to live. Same for Douglasville. A lot of people want to live there, but I don't know why. It's not a great part of Metro Atlanta to live in, and the traffic is absolutely terrible. Another area that comes to mind is anything that's near a railroad. You might think that in 2024 or 2025 that this is not a problem, but here in Metro Atlanta, this is absolutely something that you need to think about. We have so many towns and cities that are built around the railroads, or at least a long time ago, they were built around the railroads. And so these railroad lines are still in use today. And so because of that, if you live in one of these areas where you are super close to the railroad and the train, you'll hear the train passing through your area or your neighborhood or right by your home. This is still a very common thing here in Metro Atlanta because of how often the railroad lines are still used. So be sure that when you are home shopping here in Metro Atlanta, you're checking to see where that railroad is, how far it is from the home, because you could be looking at a home and the train not necessarily go by the home at that time. And then you move in and say, oh shit, like the railroad is right there. The train is going right through the home or right by the home. And so you want to be careful of that because of how common it is here in Metro Atlanta. And then another area is Midtown Atlanta. Again, not really my favorite, especially for young families or any families. The middle of Atlanta is not really like a family friendly area. Many families here in Metro Atlanta live in one of the suburbs of Atlanta, not in the city. So it's very different. It's a very different vibe in the city versus the suburb. And so Midtown, if you are a family looking for a family-friendly environment, Midtown is not really the best place for that. There are a lot of great suburbs all around Metro Atlanta. Some of my favorites are on the north part of Metro Atlanta. In fact, I made an entire video about the top 5 suburbs of Metro Atlanta. You can check out that video right here. I'll see you in the next one.